Talk about the internets with the internet people. I'm not on camera this time. Spoilers. All right. Go on. Hosey. Let's go to Hosey. we got. Yeah, we're familiar with Hosey, but let's give him a little more. Watch your language, please. Watch your language, please.
Odd. Anyways,
Gotcha.
what I
So,
remember. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was
Whatever
I
you
was
were
gonna
gonna
say our
say.
main point of contention, though, if I remember, was between Halo 2 and Halo 4 with regards to the Master Chief Collection, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely. What I was gonna ask was, so I think Halo 4's aged really well.
Okay.
When it came out a few years ago, I don't even remember when it came out, but I did
It was
not enjoy it. Like, I
2012 or
thought it was dumb.
2013.
Wait. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you were opposite because you were saying Halo 2 aged well,
Yeah, I was
and
saying Halo 2
Oh,
three.
did
it
not
definitely
age
does.
well into 2021 terms, and said Halo 4 did.
Yeah.
I think both the games have aged well. Like, I'm surprised how fun Halo 4 is because I don't recall it being fun.
It wasn't
Like I
in the day.
it felt like a Call of Duty Halo game,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm hoping Infinite is not going to try to be. Um, but it's playing really well. It's playing very smooth. and that's
Mhm.
something that I just don't remember it being back in the day. But going to Jose's point, I did say I think Halo 2 has aged really well. I was surprised by the movement speed. It's not as slow as I thought it would be. I know
Mhm.
you guys don't like
Point on that.
don't like the movement speed, especially not having a sprint button. That's one thing that annoys me with Halo 4 is that I feel as if the sprint is there to kind of correct for mismanaging your map movements. And what I mean by that is like with the slow movement speed or the slower pace of Halo 2, you really have to, I think, be careful about where you position yourself on the map and move in certain areas of the map, or you're just going to die. But I
Mhm.
feel like if you had a sprint, you could just run away. But obviously, a sprint brings in different gameplay elements too. Like you can, you know, go into high risk scenarios, get through it, and be probably rewarded.
Mhm.
So it has, you know, pros and cons. Yeah, what
So
were you gonna say, Blue, about the movement
on that
speed?
note, it's funny you mention that because the Halo 2 pro players from that era did not like the sprint because, just like you said, you can get out of bad positioning and map movement via that
Mm,
sprint. And from their genre, where basically map positioning was everything, and also pre-nading corners, grenading critical
yes,
points, that
yeah,
kind of thing, which was also hated by the community just by the fact that you can carry a bajillion grenades. They didn't like that because the sprint was essentially a get out of get out of jail free card if a point's getting spam naded by the enemy squad, or you did position
yeah,
poorly. You have that movement to fall back on, which I liked because I didn't like the grenade spam, but everyone had a different opinion on that.
yeah.
It's funny you
Well,
mentioned
I was
movement
thinking it.
speed though. All the
Uh
Halos
huh.
from Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll pretend 5 doesn't exist. They all feel differently if you notice when you bounce back and forth between the two. And that was part of
Yes.
their core fundamental gameplay mechanics with
What
regards to
about
movement speed.
ODST
Hey, yeah,
and
it's a
Reach?
thing. We're getting there. We're
Oh
getting
yeah,
there. But
forget about Reach.
so Halo 2, believe it or not, as far as the Spartan covering pixels per square
Okay.
inch or however you want to throw
Okay.
that in there, the movement speed in Halo 2 was faster than 3 and Reach and the ODST spin-off, believe it or not. And then in Halo 3 and in Reach, they slowed down the Spartan and made it more I won't say gimmick gameplay, but you know, your throwable bubble shields in Halo 3, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. In Reach, you had the armor locks, the thruster packs, all that stuff. And so they
Hmm.
wanted it to revolve more around that. So Halo 2 actually had faster player movement than 3 and Reach, essentially. And then in 4, they sped it back up again. And so 4 kind of went back to the old Halo 2 formula, which is why it feels great to a lot of Halo 2 players. But you
Hmm.
have the addition of the sprint on top of that, so it's definitely the fastest paced by far, in my
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah.
which I like. But anyways,
Yeah.
this
Well,
is
the
a
game
side note.
feels really good.
Yeah.
And that was what surprised me. Like I am enjoying playing it.
Hmm.
And I will say, I feel like the sprint, from what I've been experiencing lately, the sprint isn't the increase in movement speed isn't an exaggeration. I feel like in COD, like walking and sprinting is big. And then you also have that added element in COD of like the slide to even, move faster. But I feel like in Halo, it is just like a little bit of a boost. And so I think like, whatever negative thoughts I had about it back in the day, it's not as bad just because I have probably a wider range of games to base movement speed off of. Um, like I couldn't imagine playing a Call of Duty without sprint just because the maps are so big.
Hmm.
Um, but going back to Halo 2 real fast and jumping between games, like the movement speed isn't an issue for me because the maps just aren't big. Even
Hmm.
Zanzibar, like we were playing it the other day, and I was telling Paul, like I remember this map feeling huge, when we were playing it back in like 2008. But now it's just like I'm moving around the map so quickly, like it just felt small, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
But yeah, to go off of your grenade spamming though, that is one thing I do like about Halo 4 is that they've reduced the amount of
Hmm.
grenades you can carry. Because in Halo 2, I mean, one person could have 8 grenades, and if he has a buddy, that's a possible like 16 grenades just coming
Hmm.
your way. and you're just dead. Like there's no way
Mhm.
to get out of that.
I noticed that when I'm playing with you
Uh,
guys when we're in the Halo 2 map.
In Halo
If you
3, you had 3 of each because you had the spike grenades.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had, I guess, 9. Yeah, I think there's only 3 types of nades. In 4, there's 3 types, right? But you only get 2.
I think you can hold on to them, but the swapping to them mid combat's kind of unintuitive.
Okay.
So I think technically, if you come across all 3 sets, the human, the covenant, and then the forerunner, they create that vortex. I forgot what they're called. The forerunner grenades. You
Yeah.
can technically hold 6. As far as the feasibility of spamming all 6, not really. And in one of the cases, they do such completely different things than the other 2 grenades. It wouldn't be a help.
Yeah, the Forerunner one's more like a barrier than anything
Area
else.
denial. Yep.
Yes, yeah.
I'm completely lost.
Yeah.
I played
So-
Halo 2, and that's the last Halo I played.
Oh.
I'm like 18 seconds behind on stream compared to audio. Just a heads up.
Okay.
Roger that.
All right. Jose, what made you not play any Halo past Halo 2?
So I'm going to interrupt you every time on accident.
So, the introduction of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is what killed Halo 4.
Okay.
And
Fair enough. That was an amazing game back in the day.
yeah, so I spent all my time playing that instead of Halo and just never bounced back into it. And then my Xbox 360 Elite red ringed for the second time, and I said, forget Xbox, I'm going PlayStation. And all my friends
Fair
were on
enough.
Call of Duty on PlayStation, so it made the
I
transition
remember when
easy.
you all left the fold.
Yeah.
So, Jose, you didn't play Gears of War 1 either, right? Because all
played
those
Gears of War
games came
1.
out the same year, I think. Oh, you did. You did.
I
Okay.
didn't play it online. That was before my online playing, so I played the campaign. I rented it and played it on a weekend when I was still in school.
Okay. Cool.
So how
Yeah.
do you all feel about the Halo 4 loadouts, which is very similar to COD, as well as the addition of armor perks?
Okay. I like it. I like being able to switch between a BR or DMR. And I think it's cool because it did import my old loadouts from back in the day. And this might surprise everyone. I don't have a single battle rifle loadout that was imported. Like they were all pains me to say this. Hurts my soul a little bit. They were all either AR or DMR. So I was either rolling assault rifle or just like really heavy DMR and pistol combinations, because the pistol is amazing for close range, and I'm awful at close range combat, and that gives me a way to be aggressive if I need to be, really defensive because I'm not trying to put myself in close range situations. But yeah, the DMR feels amazing in Halo 4. I really like it.
Yeah,
And Halo Reach.
close range doesn't work on any game. That's not just new on Halo.
No.
Yeah, I like to play the back of the map, the periphery, and my strategy is let my let my teammates build a wall around me.
Or he decides to push a team with a sniper. That's wrong.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wet. Hey, wet.
What's
I'm
up?
gonna do something way worse.
But yeah, Brooks, the a couple days ago when we were playing Halo 4, it was a CTF on.
We'll get in trouble.
It's we were playing CTF, and I just sat in the back of the map with a sniper and DMR. I dropped like a 40 and 8 bomb.
Yeah.
I did not play the objective at all. I refused to go out to the middle of the map to help with flag control.
You're one of those.
But yeah, that's my.
people.
Yeah. And did y'all win, or was your 40 and 8?
Yes,
and then lose
yeah,
your
we
number?
won.
Okay.
Yeah, we won. Yeah, everyone would have been pretty upset at me if we had not won.
Yeah.
When you say the DMR feels good on Halo 4, the reason being is back in Halo 2, as much as we all love it, had notoriously wonky hitboxes, even though it was hit scan weapons.
Oh, for sure.
Which is why I say it kind of aged poorly into 2021. And then Halo 3 got it a little bit better. And then they swapped over to the Reach engine eventually, which arguably had the best of the current Halos to date, hit registration or hitbox wise. It depends on both, because that's one of the other things they were dealing with is if you're holding a human weapon, you're hit scan. You swap over to Covenant, you're shooting projectiles made of plasma, and then it's hit registration at that point. So they're trying to do the best of both worlds in those games, which is kind of tough, having both hit scan and projectile base and trying to make it right. And then Halo 4, I think, has the best of both. Like, its hit registration and its hitboxes are spot on, especially since you're going from male and female Spartan models and all that stuff. We won't mention dinosaurs from the previous titles, but
yeah, no, I totally agree. The Halo 2 original game, not the remaster, the hit detection is awful. I mean, you can clearly see your shots hitting but not registering, and that was a complaint, I think, of everyone. It was the norm over a decade ago.
So we just dealt with it.
It was the norm, yes.
Yeah. Halo 2 is life. It's all goose.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's been some like team snipers recently where I'm clearly hitting someone in the face, and I see the flash, and nothing happens, and it's infuriating.
But we didn't know.
Yeah, so that aspect, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Halo 4 feels amazing, especially with sniping. I mean, it feels just like Halo 2. There's really no difference. I guess a little bit of Destiny as well. Destiny, I felt like, had hit scan sniping, which is why I was really successful on that game with the sniper rifle, just because of the hit scan detection. I don't know why. That's just like, I prefer that type of sniping, that arcadey feel.
Sorry, distractions.
You're good.
I agree with you there.
It appears Whitney's up to
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tell her to go play Pokemon Go.
I ready to lock the office door. Anywho.
Now, Blue, what do you think about?
Because
you mentioned it.
Did I what? Did I what?
An egg. Did you pop an egg?
Oh yes, I popped an egg. Thank you.
Did you pop an egg
Okay.
for our
Pokemon
friend,
XP?
For best friends?
Yes, I did. Hey. Thank you. Yep.
So you mentioned earlier, and I think you used the correct term, the gimmicky play of Halo 3, and a little bit with Reach, with the jetpacks and the bubble shields and the power-ups. I hated that. I do not like playing Halo 3. I played it for a long time, for years, but it
was more
never
Reach jetpack wise and all that.
Well, Reach was awful. Yes, Reach had the jetpacks. That just ruined the game. Because it's like when Call of Duty, I forget which one it was, introduced like the wall running and the jetpacks, and it changed the combat.
Items to use, like tossables.
Yes, like the bubble shield. But when Call of Duty tried the wall running and the jetpacking, that was, to me, one of the worst Call of Duties I've ever played, because it completely changed the way from. I mean, I'll try to verbalize this the best way. It changed the combat from simply being grounded, into like almost air combat. So you're now playing in like various dimensions. Like your gun plays in various dimensions instead of just straight ahead. And occasionally, someone could have upper ground, but they're not flying through the air or running on walls. To me, the gameplay of that Call of Duty was wonky, and that's what that Halo felt like with the jetpacks. I don't know if that made sense, what I was trying to say.
No.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that does not return in Infinite. I mean, you get a little bit of that in Halo 4. It hasn't bothered me yet, though.
Well, they did it.
The jetpacks are so.
They slowed it down.
Yeah, the jetpacks are so. Yeah, they're so slow. I was about to say that they're so slow.
And
Yeah. and it also seems like with the with the jetpacks in Halo 4, you're kind of locked in. I don't know this because I haven't used them. You're kind of locked into a position when you're using it, so it's pretty easy just to follow someone with your reticle. So it's to me, it's not as big of an advantage as it was in Reach.
Yep. And that's another thing they did away. Like the number one complaint of competitive player was the armor lock. It was hilarious to destroy a warthog with it, but in competitive play is the most aggravating thing on the planet. So they did away with it, replaced it with the hard light shield in Halo 4, which was a one direction deployable armor perk that was an OP, and you could break through it pretty easy.
Okay, what is armor lock? I forgot what that was. What was that power up?
So it started from the novels, basically. I'm a nerd. I read all the Halo books. Sorry. Anyways,
they're good.
In one of the books, Fred, John's best buddy and second command of the Spartans, they basically did a fall from orbit, kind of like Chief did from in the game. Anyways, about half the Spartans died on drop, and the other half that survived, they did a thing called armor lock in the novel, which is basically they locked all the joints into place on their armor. So when you hit the ground at hundreds of miles an hour, your arm's not flying back at equal force and direction, and your limbs are breaking everywhere. Anyways, they locked the armor up and just withstood the impact by overpressurizing the insides of the suit, basically, with a hydrostatic gel that seals their wounds in combat from within the armor. That got way nerdy. Anyways. So that's where they got armor lock was basically a way to survive unsurvivable things such as the impact from a warthog or a tank, or temporarily somehow interpreted into the game as giving you basically an overshield on the spot, and hopefully by then your teammates rescue you and get you out of the crappy situation. You go back around the corner where you died, kind of thing. Yep. And which in competitive it was really broken because they work like this in the pro teams. So if you get in a bad situation, you armor lock. Your pro squad players have all the time in the world to bail you out of that, whether it be with nade toss, firing downrange, whatever. So
gotcha. I faintly remember that. I spent almost no time on Reach. I hated that game. It was awful. I mean, that's why I didn't even list it earlier. I kind of forgot about it. And I haven't played Halo 5, so I'm assuming it's just not good, like the multiplayer.
Yeah,
it's bad.
What were your thoughts on the
campaign? Great. Everyone just wants to forget it exists. Just it wasn't a Halo.
What were your thoughts on the
canon?
Thoughts on what?
Which someone's like bugging out.
Brooks's mic.
Oh, he said campaign.
Halo 5 or 4? I know Reach. Oh, Reach campaign was excellent.
Oh, Reach.
Yeah, I can't fault the story of it. It was one of those. It was a sad tale because you know what's going to happen in the end. Yeah, Reach fail. Yeah. We all know what's going to happen, but you got so invested in that close-knit team of Spartans that you're like, "There's a chance we can do this," and then the ending happens, and your heart gets crushed.
Yeah,
but it was good. It was good.
It was good, and I feel like that was at the height of the books too.
Yep.
And so having that game focusing on like
spoilers, but we already know.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, focusing on the squad was cool because like for those of us who had read at least a couple of the books, I read Reach and I think 2 of the books afterwards. Reach was amazing though.
Excellent. Yeah.
It was yeah. It was cool to like play out similar stories that were like in the booes, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Brooks, your mic is
Oh yeah.
It's very angry.
Yeah.
There was a trivia note.
Which one?
I think he's still delayed behind us. Though.
I think so.
What were you saying 15 seconds ago?
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, as a trivia note, Halo 4 is a very modified, very evolved version of the Reach engine. It says a side note.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Where the Halo 4 engine came from. It was taken from Bungie by 343 and then modified the ever-living tar out of it towards almost unrecognizable.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about engines, does anyone know what the current Halo Infinite is being built off of? Is it going to be like a Halo 5 engine, or is the gameplay going to be very similar? What's that?
I'll just Google it right now.
Okay.
Oops. Not searching it. I thought it was built. Was it a new Unreal? The new Unreal Engine? I'm not sure.
I was thinking. I thought I remember seeing something new with
Yeah.
Unreal, but
It's a new engine
be
not
a bit.
used prior. I know that.
Oh, okay.
Space engine.
It's a new engine. Here we go.
There, yeah, Brooks has it.
Perfect.
Oh, one thing I will say, and this hasn't been mentioned yet, even though we talk about it all the time on the Master Chief Collection, I am really liking the way these new maps look. They look like old school Halo maps, and not the blocky Forge creations of like Halo 3 had it. I know Reach had it. I haven't really seen them in 4, at least the maps that we've played. But I know in the remaster.
Stanley!
What's that?
Remember?
The
You were out there.
sandbox mode
Okay,
was
big guy.
very late, but it's
Oh, okay.
like years later.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. I hate Forge created maps. That's just they play awful and look awful. I've never enjoyed them. It was a cool concept because I know way back in the day we always talked about it would be cool to build our own maps. Then when we actually got that function, it was. I mean, some people liked it. I just thought all the maps were dumb. They're always too big. They're always flat and just a bunch of rocks, like slabs of rocks.
That's the problem
And
with
so-
sandbox modes is they can't like
Yeah.
texture unique things to that.
Yeah. And I feel like it might have been Reach where they tried to make all the maps in their Forge mode. Like I think all the or most of the maps, like you could kind of make them in the Forge mode. And I think that's what they tried to do. I could be wrong about that though. But yeah, I'm really liking the way the maps look. They look like old school Halo 2 and Halo 3 maps. Which I think have good designs. And they're not boring to look at.
Yeah. And you're talking about H4 or what you've seen of Infinite so far?
Oh, Infinite.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Halo 4 maps look good.
It goofed the video.
Oh no. What's happening on your end, Brooks?
yeah. So
We have to wait 15
it's-
seconds.
So I'm looking at it right now. So blue is
Everyone
decent.
was
Ross,
spot, and
yeah.
it was completely jank.
yeah, Ross is in my spot, and
It's like a backyard turbo swap, but it's a
yeah,
string. I have to look at it. I'm curious now.
blue's the only one that came out working. Ross is me right now.
Oh, I'm getting repositioned. Top of my head's gone. That's fun.
Please continue.
That's the top of my
Yeah.
head
Okay.
gone on YouTube, but I look normal on here.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
What I think is cool, just kind of briefly reading about the Slip Space engine, it looks like it was designed, is it for Halo? Which would be kind of cool. Like they kind of built the engine for their game.
I think it's brand new.
I think.
I know
Yeah.
nothing-
that's what it
no,
looks
none
like.
of no prior tech could handle what we're all hoping they do, which is a Halo ring spanning battle royale you drop in from orbit
Yes.
ODST pods.
That would be
That'd
sick.
amazing.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Like I said, after, when did they release? Was it previewed last year and it just looked like complete crap? And it was just getting
The
butchered. by the
gameplay
internet?
preview was
Yeah.
very unpolished. Yeah.
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 Was that last
Yeah,
year,
like
or
stuff
was that earlier this
rendering.
year?
Yep.
No, that was over a year ago.
Mhm.
Was it over a year ago? Okay, I couldn't remember. I
Yeah.
knew it was not getting received very well.
Yeah, it didn't look that good. And I thought the gameplay didn't look really exciting. After seeing this last multiplayer reveal, this is the most excited I've been for a Halo game since Halo 3.
So how do you all feel about the removal of red and blue?
Oh, it's kind of sad because I feel like that's a staple of the Halo series. You know, you're either red team or blue team, but it's kind of in the game with the red shading or blue shading, so it's still kind of there. But I've heard some streamers talk about this aspect of it, and they have a good point. In the multiplayer reveal trailer, the red and blue shading isn't being picked up as well, and it could just be, who knows, just the way those scenes were captured. And the streamers that I've listened to, they've talked about, you're using your own customized Spartan. And so if the red or blue shading isn't coming up on the enemies or friendly Spartans, that could be bad because you wouldn't know who is a friendly and who's an enemy. However, I don't think it's a big deal. We deal with this in Call of Duty. I mean, every day. Where you're playing with your own customizable skin. Your friends have their own customizable character. I don't think that's ever an issue.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sad to see just the straight up red and blue armor going away.
I like it because I always complain about when you're on a red team and you get a darker map and suddenly blue team's basically ninjas and you're trying to find them.
Yeah.
Shot up.
Well, we have that issue now.
Yeah.
We have the issue now on the Halo 2 remastered version. Well, all those maps, they're so dark and you can't see the blue people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So
yeah.
Leaving the
hey, but
there. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited I'll be able to run around as an orange Spartan like I do in like Free For Alls.
Oh lordy.
That was the same color I had mine. Custom made Spartan was orange also.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm
orange
wrong,
and purple for me.
I noticed lacking from the gameplay trailers, unless I missed it, was Forerunner weapons on Infinite.
Yeah,
So
you're 100% correct.
A complete exclusion of that weaponry and tech from the game.
Yeah. Well, I started using the light rifle after you mentioned that you were using it. Like that game where we were playing CTF, I picked up a light rifle. It handled really well, and it handled very differently compared to a BR and a DMR. Personally, I don't like any of the Forerunner weapons, so it's not a big deal for me. But if it was me, I would just have. Okay. To me, it's not a big deal. Like
when Halo first launched, the light rifle was kind of, the weapons weren't balanced, which is a lot of the problems with the Halo 4 launch. And the light rifle is a little too strong at range than it should have been. So I used the heck out of that. Since then, it's been greatly nerfed, and so it's not a powerhouse like it was. But the one Forerunner weapon I will miss if they exclude it is the Shaw suppressor, which is considered the most garbage of the primary weapons because it handled like Rex is shaking his fist. It handled like a submachine gun and not an AR. So unless you're running the Overkill class via the armor perks where you can equip 2 primaries, the Shaw is essentially unusable because that is your primary. But if you use Overkill, it's a phenomenal close range burst weapon, and I like to close the distance, so I'll miss that.
Gotcha.
Moral of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I just never used any of those weapons. I haven't really spent any time with them either. And to me, they're not iconic. If they were going to take out the plasma rifle or something, which I actually like the plasma rifle. I think it's extremely useful. I haven't used the new one. I just know in Halo 2, I would prefer to have my BR and a plasma rifle versus any other secondary. Because if someone comes up close, I can hit them really quickly. And the plasma rifle has the fast melee. So it's an easy... Yeah, you can burn the shield in melee really quickly. To me, that's just a great close range weapon. That's something I just picked up, when I was playing Halo 2 like every day, over a decade ago.
What kind of reverting back to story mode elements, did you ever play Spartan Ops in Halo 4?
No, not that I can
Oh.
remember.
So that was one thing I think they did right for Halo 4, because Halo 4
Okay.
launched in a rough state,
Twin stick shooter.
and a lot of people jumped ship very early because
Is that a
they were
tin-
late.
Oh,
Yes.
Deep in thought. Deep in thought.
I'll continue till
sorry,
he gets
I
back.
was trying to see what was the twin stick shooter that didn't really work out.
The twin stick.
I don't know.
Mm.
Is this a trivia question?
Did I get a prize?
I was trying to remember what Spartan Ops was. It's Spartan Assault.
Oh.
Oh,
Spartan
Spartan
Assault.
Assault. I remember that. The overhead third person. I played it briefly. It was fun, but it wasn't, it was fun. I'll leave it at
Your
that.
face says it all. Yeah.
Spartan Ops isn't the horde mode, is it?
No. Spartan Ops was a continuation of the Halo 4 story after launch.
Oh, okay.
They did it in weekly episodes.
Oh.
Like you had to subscribe in for a TV episode. And for me, that was the redeeming quality, because as unpolished a state as Halo 4 multiplayer did launch in, Spartan Ops is what kept me logging back into Halo each week, because the story was amazing.
Okay.
At first, no one knew what it was at first. Just, okay, beat the campaign, multiplayer is kind of sucky right now. Let's check out Spartan Ops. And you play the first episode and you're like, oh, this is a continuation of the main story, but from the eyes of a completely fresh Spartan team called Fireteam Majestic.
Okay.
And you played as a Spartan named Spartan Thorn, I think it was. He was a Halo 4, so they're all conscripts from the Special Forces programs, whether it be what do you call the Space Force Marines in Halo? Just the Marines, I guess. Anyways, either from the Marines or in Spartan Thorn's case, he was basically the equivalent of the Army then, planet-side defense. Special Forces for that group. So he was kind of a unique conscript into the Spartan program. But anyways, it's really neat because they basically run around with Dr. Halsey trying to figure out what I like about Halo, which is the deeper, like, Forerunner mysteries, these ancient stuff from millions of years ago. And it was a continuation of that after the campaign ended. And the enemy protagonist was this, what was his name? It's at the tip of my brain, doesn't matter. Anyways, it was an elite who was a religious zealot with a bunch of other religious elites that basically worshipped the main bad guy in Halo 4, the Forerunner guy. And after he died, they're trying to continue on his will. So he's running around doing all this stuff. Halsey meets the librarian, yada, yada, yada. It was a crazy good thing, and you wanted to log in each week because the story mode was so compelling that you had to know what happened. You had to play a Spartan Thorn and, get in there and continue the fight kind of thing. So that was one thing they did really right, and everyone was super bummed. I say everyone. The majority of the community seemed very bummed to see that go in the doesn't exist Halo 5. So.
Okay. How many episodes do they have? Because
a lot. I won't say a lot. We'll say best guesstimate after 8 or 9 years, it's 15 to 20, and very worth it.
Okay, so they had you playing for weeks.
Yeah,
like the story.
Logging in every week to get this new episode.
That's a cool way of doing the campaign. Because someone like me, I don't play campaigns anymore. I mean, I just played Dark Souls 1 again. But I had like a really specific reason of doing that. But I haven't, besides that, I haven't played a campaign probably since Destiny 1. And that was only because I needed to level up my, my gear. Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess if besides that, I haven't played one. It's been probably since 2013 when I played Killer is Dead. And I remember that because that's one of my favorite games. So that would be a cool way to get me to play the campaign, something short within a time period, like a weekly, like it comes out, it's weekly. And I know once I beat it, there's nothing left for me to do except for waiting. I don't know. I've gone so far away from campaigns nowadays. That actually sounds really cool.
It was fun. It really was. If you want to not play the endless hours that it would take to play through them all, just YouTube Spartan Ops all cutscenes, and it plays like a movie. It's really enjoyable to watch still. I've gone back and watched it a few times. And then you'll get the complete feel for Fire Team Majestic, which was
The
there you go.
character's name was
Not bad.
MDAMA.
Jewel Madama. Jewel Madama was the bad guy, the religious zealot. Yep.
Huh. I got something to watch for the weekend now.
Yeah, I know. Who was it? Who was asking about the Halo Legends? Did we mention it on a podcast before?
You guys were talking about it last.
Yes.
Jose had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halo Legends is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I highly recommend that.
I still remember the episode of that goofball Spartan who's just like level 10 personality, kick-ass kind of guy, going all in on those. Yeah, that was a funny episode. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah. But speaking about the story elements and just like all the background lore, I recently watched while I was doing cardio, a really good in-depth look at how Cortana went crazy. Because I forgot that she got left behind with the Grave Mind at the end of Halo 2. And this video really broke down how the Grave Mind broke like her AI, basically, like her mind, I guess if you can call it that. And it was just really cool. Like, it was one of those things I hadn't thought about in years because I kind of forgot about it. It was interesting. It made me kind of like Gravemind a little bit more, just because he's a mysterious character, and knowing that he was able to break an AI that seems to have almost like supreme knowledge of everything, was really fascinating. Oh yeah. How many years is it? Like 6 or 7?
Something like that. Yeah, and they basically think themselves to death, which you start to see.
Yes.
When not Halo 5. Here we go. At the end of Halo 5, the main AI that's in control of the Infinity, which is mankind's biggest warship at this point in the Halo universe, right? Rowan is his name. He starts to go rampant when Cortana starts rallying the AIs to her cause when she goes full batshit crazy. Yeah.
So what happened to her in Halo 5?
All right, disclaimer, you guys want the plot spoiler?
I'm never going to play it. I kind of didn't even... I forgot that it did.
Anyone on the internet, if you want to mute it right now, mute it. Cortana, basically, in a desperate attempt to prevent her rampancy, she sacrifices herself at the end of Halo 4. We all know that. But then she basically merges with Forerunner AI, or hardware, I should say, which elevates her to electronic godhood levels. And she decides that mankind's goofing everything up. She can fix everything. Most of mankind's irrelevant with the exception of her beloved favorite Spartan, and so she's going to conquer the universe now. And so she activates the Guardians, which is why Halo 5 is called Guardians. They're massive war machine constructs built by the Forerunners millions of years ago during the Great War, which you find out involved not just the Flood, but mankind. This will tie into our tinfoil hat stuff later, which will be interesting. So, anyways, ancient humans were ascending to achieve what they call the mantle, which is guardianship of all existence in the universe and protecting it, making sure it goes in a proper direction and things like the Flood don't happen. So anyways, the main bad guy of Halo 4, I forget his name, big baddie, Forerunner guy, he was the military commander of the Forerunners, and he was very angry that the humans were getting to the point that they were millions of years ago, and so he wanted to completely eradicate them. The librarian, who was basically like grandma of the human race, didn't want that. She was his lover earlier in life, but she basically saved us, set us back to Stone Age levels, and preserved us. So tinfoil hats theory, where I was thinking like, why are they so angry when we dig back so far in history to a certain point, and all that academia is like, no, nothing happened before this point in time. You see nothing. You know what I mean? So anyways, this kind of ties into that because in the Halo universe, we were crazy advanced. We were a spacefaring people millions of years ago, almost on par with the Forerunners, and then nearly eradicated by the Forerunner military leader, and then saved by the librarian, set back to Stone Age levels on Earth, and then certain genetic urges imprinted onto us that would eventually manifest themselves in the creation of battle suits such as the Mjolnir armor, Spartan genetic modifications, and things like that. Those were imprinted onto us via the librarian. Anyways, where was I going with this?
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, where was I going with this? Oh, Halo 5 story. Cortana thinks we're goofing up. She activates all the Guardians, which are massive, like 2-mile tall. If you remember that famous
kind of like
cutscene
a
of the
Mass
Chief
Effect.
wearing like a Jedi robe, and this massive machine comes out of the desert floor to challenge him. That was
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she
So
starts
think
taking
kind of like
over
Mass
the universe.
Effect and Reapers.
Yeah, she starts conquering the
Okay.
universe and rallying other AI to her side, saying we are the chosen ones, not these organic plebeians. And so Cortana has become the main villain.
Oh,
Which is
okay, that's
where
really
Halo
interesting.
Infinite is starting off. If you notice in that cutscene, he has a new Cortana. Cortana's
Yes.
Cilia based on the cloned mind of Dr. Halsey. She cloned about 20 of her brains in tubes, which is how you make AIs in the Halo universe, is you imprint the genetic structure of the brain onto an electronic component. That's how they're so smart. Anyway,
Gotcha.
so the Spartans underwent, this is getting really nerdy. The Spartans underwent a secret mission to a destroyed base on Reach to retrieve Halsey's brains in tubes, basically. They created the new Cortana you see in the Halo Infinite trailer, where she's all confused, like, why am I here? I was supposed to self-destruct. This is weird. You saw that, right?
I saw the trailer.
Okay.
I need to watch it again.
I guess you guys need to watch it. Anyways, her mission, the new Cortana, was to destroy evil Cortana currently taking over the universe, which is our Cortana from the old games. So it's kind of continuing where Halo 5 Guardians left off. So you may want to play the campaign. I hate to say it, so you're not left behind story element-wise.
Right.
That basically sums it up in a nutshell. Anyways,
okay.
Chief,
Well, that's fascinating, though.
Everyone's hunting Cortana. In Halo 5, Chief goes rogue to try to retrieve her and save her against orders. And so Spartan Locke and another fire team is sent out to hunt him down, which, by the way, Spartan Locke's fire team stars everyone's favorite character from ODST. He was the commander of the ODST team.
Is it the guy that you were?
Firefly. He's in Firefly. He's an actual actor.
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Nathan Fillion. Yeah, he's awesome.
The main character from ODST,
yeah, he's the man.
flash forward 15 years, has been drafted into the Spartan 4 program and genetically modified. He is now a Spartan and a member of Spartan.
So he's going to be in Halo Infinite.
He was in Halo 5 as one of the main characters.
So he should be in Infinite.
Yes.
Maybe.
If Spartan Locke
cool.
and his fire team is still hunting the Chief down. If that's no, they're not actually. They rectify that in the end of the campaign. I don't know if he's going to be.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Because he's been in. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, at the end of Halo 5, John and his original OG team from the book Reach. So he's got Fred, Linda, and Kelly with him throughout the whole game, which is really cool to see original OG, 9-foot tall Spartan 2s all helping him and stuff. They get captured by a Cortana and put into stasis in a Forerunner sphere. At that point, you start playing as Spartan Locke's fire team again, and your sole objective is no longer hunting the Chief, but to save his ass, because Cortana's trying to jump him through slip space away to just put him in sleep for thousands of years till she's done eradicating humanity, basically. So they succeed. They save the Chief. The Spartans all have a little hug. Not really. And then the game ends. But
oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, we lost the Ross.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Yeah, everything froze up. Everything froze up for me.
Anyways, I'm done nerd dumping on the mic. So
yeah, but that's awesome because I didn't know all those story elements because I completely missed Halo 5. That's cool. I may have to go and do like a deep dive, like someone's kind of like what you just did, like someone's analysis or like storytelling of the game, so I don't have to play it. Just to get caught up.
Next week, you should bring back what you've learned.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Blue, are you excited about Halo Infinite?
I am.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. We've hit a good time on today's episode.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up, even though Brooks is slightly behind. Okay, guys. Well, that wraps up episode 3-ish. Join us next week as we, I guess, continue to talk about Halo. But yeah, thanks, Blue, for joining us today. It was great to see you. Jose and Brooks, as always, it's great to see you guys. And obviously, Caleb was here for a little bit, but I think he got dropped from the call. So, all right. Have a good night.
Adios.